So what exactly made the Hook debut one of the best debuts in wrestling today? Good morning, students. I am your professor for today, Dr. Suplex, also the Melanin Chief of TikTok. And today, we're going to be looking at the science of Hook. By this point, you probably know why he was so hyped up. And if not, please go check out my previous TikTok on why AEW Hook was so hyped up. But today we're going to be breaking down his actual debut and why it was so great. So without further ado, let's get straight into it. So let's start from the entrance. It starts black, and then all that comes up is white text with the word Hook as he comes out from the back sporting his gear. There's no pyro, it's not flashy, it's not boastful colors, it's very simplistic, it gets straight to the point. It gives this essence as he's about his business, he doesn't really care about the glitz and the glamour. So it wouldn't pander more to a WWE audience that's all about, you know, the lights and glimmer, but less is more, and that's very captivating. Now obviously the consensus is that he's a very attractive male, and that helps with the female and, you know, gay male audience. He has a certain swagger to him, just a lackadaisical walk as he eyes down his opponents. As you can see from this camera angle, he stares away from his opponent. It's a very don't care attitude as he chews gum. It's very badass. It gives like 80s Grease kind of feel. From the very beginning of the match, they start up with a lockup, but he tucks under and goes straight to the back and takes him down to the mat, showing from the very get-go that this guy is very tech savvy. We don't know how tech savvy yet because it's too early, but we know just from the opening moments that that is going to be his style. You can see the sleek transitions, and then he goes for a judo throw, showing the audience there might be some MMA type experience in there. I compared it similar to early stage Ronda Rousey when she started wrestling. Hook's first interaction with the referee is getting straight up in his face when he tries to confront him, establishing that he's not a babyface, because good guys don't do that. Check the duck under the arm and another judo throw. That is his specialty. Keeping you on the mat is going to be his focal point going forward, or at least in the early stage of his wrestling career, because you know, as you get older, as you progress, you can branch out. But then he goes in for the kill. We get a peek into what his finishing move is going to be. He floats over, clutches the leg with his own leg, and starts going for a submission, which Fuego gets out of. He backs Fuego to the corner and starts throwing haymakers, showing that he can also be a striker. But then we get a peek into his athleticism, because then he lands on his feet mid-hip toss, ducks back underneath, and manages to lift up Fuego from a gut wrench position. And just like that, he puts it back down to the mat. Brownie points for pandering to the crowd with a cocky behavior afterwards. We get a drop kick, and we see that he's starting to sell here. He's not on the defense too much, so we don't know just how good his selling is, but we see peeks of it. We get a peek into another suplex, which was mastered by his father, Taz. Then he goes in for the kill. He grabs him by his mask and starts hammering away at the throat area, trying to knock him unconscious. A nice little piece of detail here is that he's covering up Fuego's mask so he can't see anything. As he hammers in, Fuego is rendered weak. This gives him an opening for his finishing move. He puts him in a seated position and proceeds to lock him in the Taz mission, a move perfected by his father, and Fuego taps out. He wins the match, and after winning, he walks straight to the back. Welcome to part 2 of the science behind Hook. In part 1, I gave the lesson, so watch that to know exactly why Hook's debut was so great. This is more of a post-lecture conversation. So by this point, you know the hype behind Hook is because he was memed into existence, he is very attractive, he is indeed the son of Taz, that does play into it some nepotism, but now you've seen exactly why he's so good in the ring. This kid maybe has been wrestling for like a year or so, and he's already really well developed. I see people online making comparisons to Dominic Mysterio and Braun Breaker in WWE. Some people are even saying that he's better than Dominic Mysterio. And I don't watch enough Dominic Mysterio to really have an opinion on that, but I do think a lot of the reason why people say that is because Dominic really had an unfair playing advantage when he debuted. He debuted against no people, and against Seth Rollins at SummerSlam. Very curated, not very natural. Hook made his debut last year, and ever since then people's curiosity has peaked as to what he can do. After memeing it and popularizing him, he's finally had a chance to show it, and he did not disappoint. And that's why we love him so much. Nice chat.